All-Holiness is receiving the Templeton Prize for his pioneering efforts to bridge scientific and spiritual understandings of humanity's relationship with the natural world, and to help people of different faiths heed a call for stewardship of creation. May his vision and mission inspire us this evening and for many years to come.
We humans are part of this natural world. So often now in the Western world and gradually creeping across the globe, we're divorcing ourselves and our children from the natural world. And this is a huge mistake as we rely more and more on technology. We're glued to iPhones and children are on video games. And this is tragic for various reasons. One, if we don't understand nature, we won't want to protect it. Two, it's now scientifically proven we need time in nature for our health, spiritual and material health.
Your All-Holiness, it is our honor to present you with the 2025 Templeton Prize. Well, we also present you with this scroll, which cites you as the 2025 Templeton Prize laureate. The scroll includes images that reflect the interests and philanthropic vision of Sir John Templeton, and at the bottom we have added some images that reflect your life and your work. 2 images from your early life, the island of Imbros, and the mountain that you used to look out upon, where you developed a love and appreciation for the natural world, and 2 images that reflect your calling as the Ecumenical Patriarch, your seal in the Patriarchal Church. On behalf of the John Templeton Foundation, the Templeton World Charity Foundation, and the Templeton Religion Trust, congratulations on being selected as the 2025 Templeton Prize laureate. May God bless you, and may God bless all the people that you serve.
It is a great honor to be with you all today to celebrate and to congratulate His All-Holiness. In advance of this evening's ceremony, I was reflecting on the opportunity that I had to honor His All-Holiness when I served as Vice President of the United States. In 1997, as Heather referred to it, we celebrated his success in bringing diverse people together, and I quote, across the invisible lines that too often divide us. We celebrated him for his work to remove the barriers that separate people from one another, from their God, and from the natural environment. In all 3 of the Abrahamic religions, there is a teaching that God has set before humanity a choice between blessings and curses, between life and death. Indeed, we do face that choice today. We can choose to continue our dangerous addiction to fossil fuels, an addiction that is representative of the curses that we do not want, a curse on the future of our children, grandchildren, and humanity itself. Or we can take his advice and we can embrace the blessings of climate solutions, which are completely present, the blessings of clean air and clean water, a stable climate, and a sustainable future. You can see this work made tangible when you pass one of the Orthodox monasteries or churches or other facilities worldwide that have installed solar panels to play their part in reducing emissions and have made other wise choices to be sustainable. We must continue to be inspired by His All-Holiness's work. Let me close with the words of His All-Holiness from 30 years ago, and I quote, "The work which lies ahead for all those who love life is to translate this world community which exists as an object under threat more and more into a subject of promise and hope." Thank you.
Distinguished guests, it is indeed a great pleasure and an honor to stand tonight amongst you. Much has been said by the Vice President about the work of His All-Holiness, the Ecumenical Patriarch Bartholomew, not to mention the personality that drives that work. But today is about something much more specific. The Patriarch's vitally important initiatives on the protection of the environment. And I'm truly delighted that the John Templeton Foundation, the Templeton World Charity Foundation, and the Templeton Religious Trust have chosen this moment to recognize that work by awarding him with the Templeton Prize for 2025. And when you consider that the inaugural Templeton recipient was none other than Mother Teresa back in 1973, then it isn't very hard to appreciate the esteem in which the Ecumenical Patriarch and his work is held. And the Templeton family of foundations has, of course, a very long history of honoring spiritual quests, promoting religious understanding and intellectual humility, and recognizing the importance of honest discussion around science, philosophy, culture, and theology. And the Ecumenical Patriarch represents a great heritage, which the Greek Orthodox faith has left us. On the one hand, a deep belief, and on the other hand, also a deep understanding of the ancient Greek and Byzantine worlds, including a profound and very, very deep appreciation of science, research, and the great eternal questions surrounding human existence. What do we believe in? What is the role of religion, philosophy, of science? Does faith in religion hinder or help faith in science? I've been privileged to know His All-Holiness since 1992, so 5 years earlier than you, dear Vice President. I met him when I was still very, very young, and have been blessed over these many years to seek his counsel and his advice, in particular since I became Prime Minister. And thank you, Your All-Holiness, for always providing a degree of incredible moral clarity and the guidance at times when things in the world seems to be spinning out of control. You have truly added your own personal mark to the modern version of the heritage that you represent. And you have been one of the first, if not the first, global spiritual leader to underline the need for a true environmental dimension in our thinking. You saw the science very early, before you wrote your book that so much influenced me to take climate change seriously, dear Mr. Vice President. You pointed to the alarming environmental degradation brought about not just by climate change, but by this consumerism represented by modern society. And in doing so, you defined environmentalism not just as a practical, a necessary solution, but also as a spiritual responsibility. So you have rightly earned the title Green Patriarch. And you have loudly proclaimed what you see as supremacy of spiritual values in determining environmental ethics. You have been a pioneer in environmental awareness and action, and you've driven this awareness tirelessly through numerous symposia, gatherings, speaking about the challenges that we face in a different language from the one that we usually use, but with a force and a power of conviction that I think has, converted many to your cause. And I think at a time when the climate reality is really hitting us, look at just what's happening in our country, in Greece, the wildfires, the floods, the constant challenges of managing the changing environment at a time when, again, there's still, people, doubting the science behind climate change. Your words of wisdom are that much more necessary. So it is a great honor to be standing in front of you today, introducing you and congratulating you on this very well-deserved prize. And may you always retain this strength, this inner strength, to speak about these topics in the lucid manner that you always do. Again, my deepest congratulations for this award, Your All-Holiness.
Your Excellencies, Mr. Vice President, εξοχότατε και φίλτατε, κύριε Πρωθυπουργέ της Ελλάδος, Venerable religious representatives, former Chair of the Templeton Prize, Ms. Dill, distinguished guests, dear friends. Standing before you as this year's recipient of the Templeton Prize, I am struck by the weight of a recognition that surely belongs not to an individual, but to a vision that has animated the Ecumenical Patriarchate for over 3 decades. That the God who breathes stars and humans into being is the same God who grieves when a single sparrow falls, when a coral reef bleaches white as bone, and when a child gasps for clean air. My profound gratitude is also extended to the John Templeton Foundation, the Templeton World Charity Foundation, and the Templeton Religion Trust for stewarding the administration of this remarkable award and daring to believe that the marriage of scientific rigor and spiritual vigor might yet save us from ourselves. Their values to push the boundaries of scientific and spiritual understanding challenge us to understand the interconnection of both. Through the centuries, we have witnessed a tragic alienation. Religion withdrawing to its sanctuaries, science retreating to its laboratories, each suspicious of the other's claims upon truth. For far too long, faith and science have circled each other cautiously, sometimes approaching mutual reconciliation, more often hardening into reciprocal incomprehension. Yet, this separation was never meant to be. The 4th century church father and mystic Gregory of Nyssa understood what we have forgotten, that divine grace pervades the whole creation, the lower nature being mixed with the supernatural. There is no sacred and secular, no spiritual and material, only one truth, a single reality, shimmering with interconnection, pulsing with divine presence. When ancient forests fall to feed our consumption, and we propose senseless rhetoric instead of systemic change, we practice a faith so detached from reality that it has ceased to be faith at all. At the same time, we get it wrong when we fail to connect the dots between our throwaway culture and overflowing landfills, between fast fashion and carbon footprints, between our desire for convenience and the slow strangulation of rivers by plastic waste. We get it wrong when we treat environmental destruction as someone else's problem, instead of recognizing it as the spiritual crisis of our age. Yet, religion also possesses a unique gift for getting things magnificently right. We excel when we provide what the world desperately needs: the longer view, the deeper story, the bigger picture. We get it right when we remember that caring for creation is not merely about climate change, but about changing ourselves, in fact, about changing everything. We get it right when we appreciate that caring for the environment is not simply about hugging trees, though the mystics remind us that trees too deserve our embrace, but about worshipping the God who chose to become flesh, who sanctified matter by dwelling in it. We get it right when we plant gardens in concrete wastelands, when we choose beauty over utility, silence over noise, communion over consumption. Such vision dissolves the artificial boundaries between contemplation and engagement. When we truly see, we understand that we must act. We seem to have lost the sacred rhythm of natural time. In religious terminology, this is precisely what the power of prayer entails. Our ancestors understood something we have forgotten, namely that meaningful growth requires patience, that depth demands duration. Trees do not hurry. Stars do not rush their burning. Mountains are not anxious about their rising. Unfortunately, we have created a civilization addicted to acceleration, where the speed of expansion matters more than the wisdom of appreciation, where instant gratification trumps sustainable flourishing. We have forgotten the joy of watching seeds become saplings. Saplings become trees that will comfort and protect generations we will never meet. This temporal vertigo afflicts especially our young people, who inherit a world where the future feels insecure and uncertain. Recent research reveals a mental health crisis directly linked to environmental anxiety among young people. And when our children lose hope for tomorrow, we must recognize this as both moral failure and spiritual emergency. Their fear is not irrational. It is symbolic, it is prophetic. They see what we have chosen not to see, that the world we are leaving them may be unsustainable and even unlivable. Against the numbing forces of indifference and despair, the Orthodox tradition offers the discipline of nepsis, watchful vigilance, the practice of staying alert or attentive to what is actually happening around us. Never has this ancient art been more urgently needed. Nepsis. Finally, what we desperately need is a theology of interconnectedness, a recognition that the health of our planet and the welfare of its people are not separate concerns, but aspects of a single reality. Environmental justice and social justice are not distinct causes, but different names for the same commitment to the flourishing and balance of all life. This theology recognizes that we cannot heal our relationship with the planet without healing our relationships with each other. We cannot achieve environmental sustainability while maintaining social inequality. We cannot save the earth without practicing justice. This is precisely where the ecumenical imperative of caring for the natural environment emerges. After all, some may be more responsible or accountable for the crisis that we face in the present, but it is only together that we can respond to and resolve it for the future. Only together. Standing at this crossroads, we face a choice that will echo through time. Will we be remembered as the generation that, despite knowing better, chose comfort over conscience? Or will we be celebrated as the pioneers who, despite enormous challenges, chose transformation over destruction? In keeping with John Templeton's conviction that there is valuable synergy between science and religion, the scientific evidence is clear. We have limited time and resources to alter our trajectory. The spiritual resources are ample. Traditions of wisdom have sustained human communities through previous transformations, and the technological tools exist. Renewable energy, sustainable agriculture, regenerative design. What we lack is not knowledge or capability, but willpower, the collective determination to choose difficult truths over convenient lies, systemic change over personal gain. In closing then, let me propose not answers but an appeal to see the intersection of science and spirituality not as an intellectual exercise, but as an existential necessity. The future of our planet depends on our capacity to bring together the precision of scientific method with the perception of spiritual vision, the urgency of prophetic witness with the patience of contemplative practice. May we find the courage to speak truth to power, and the wisdom to speak love to fear. May you discover that caring for creation is not a burden but a gift, the opportunity to participate in the ongoing creativity of the God who spoke worlds into being and still calls them very good, as in Genesis chapter 1, Kala Lian. And may we remember, even in dark moments, that every crisis is also an opportunity, every death the possibility of resurrection. The earth is groaning, but it is also hoping. The question is whether we will join its song of grief or its chorus of gratitude. Thank you for your patience, and thank you once again for the esteemed honor of the Templeton Prize. May God bless you all.